from Hungary.
Yes, I'm from Hungary.
So you can still function openly. You're allowed to state your opinion.
I'm allowed to state my opinion, but if I would be a small businessman in the countryside, or if I would be operating an NGO, and there would be quite severe consequences. One of our party members was harassed by the police. He was taken into custody because he posted critical comments on Facebook. His computer was confiscated.
He sounds like, if I may, he would make an incredible governor of Florida, this Viktor Orban.
Well, it looks like his influence is spreading indeed, and this is why it's so worrying.
Do you think he's going to side ultimately with Putin?
He is acting as a Trojan horse of Vladimir Putin at the European negotiating tables. His state media is spewing Russian propaganda. Can you imagine that the mouthpieces of a government propaganda television in the middle of the European Union are saying things like Ukraine is not a real country and the war is actually waged according to U.S. policy interests, that Ukraine is only the proxy of the United States in this war. It's
I think I know. So you're talking about Fox News Network.
Well,
is that the one that is in Hungary saying these things? Because they're saying them in our country too.
And is it paid by your taxpayers' money?
No, we give them, it's paid by, so do you know a gentleman named Rupert Murdoch?
Of course.
So his goal has been to ruin Australia, Britain, and the United States so that Putin can gain more leverage, and I guess Orban is in that as well.
Those Republicans from the United States, how would they see Viktor Orban if they know what he is saying about America being a terrorist state? Also, or how would they respond to American medias are being censored? How is it compatible with the party of so-called freedom?
They would be delighted. If America would begin to censor their opponents, they would be delighted by that, because they're not actually a news organization, they're a propaganda organization.
You know, it's so interesting how the talking points of the populists align globally, because these are also talking points of Viktor Orban. This is what I really want to underline also for a global audience.
Please.
That the slippery slope is real. It is much easier to destroy a democracy than to build it back. The farther away we get from a stable and democratic country, the more difficult it is to revert back. But we are not giving up in Hungary. We are fighting, and I think we also have to show to the world that we are not only the first to unleash this populist virus on Earth, but we has to be also the ones who are responsible for stopping that. We are in the brink of a very devastating economic crisis in Hungary. Inflation is double the rate of the European level. Food inflation is 40%. Hungarian citizens are suffering. And right now, we see a government who is unwilling to make changes.
The inflation is 40% for certain goods in Hungary.
For food.
And Orban is still in power.
He is in power.
And the people are not angry at him for the high inflation.
And you know, this is the tricky part, because he is using the media machine that he managed to build up, also with the help of the European funds, on you, on the United States, on the sanctions, on the war.
He's blaming us?
He's blaming everybody but himself.
And so in Hungary, they believe that it's our fault?
They believe it's not his fault.
It's not Orban's fault?
Not his fault.
And not Putin's fault?
No, it is the fault of those who would like to push back against the aggressor.
So you're saying if you have a media machine that purposefully lies to its people to maintain a political fiction and get themselves power, that is the hallmark of an authoritarian system, not a democratic system?
Absolutely.
Well, if we were ever to get something like that in the United States, we would be horrified, furious, to know that there was an entire media organization designed to bend reality, to manipulate facts, to maintain power. It would, if I may, and I'm not trying to slam Hungary, it would never happen in the United States. It's just not, I almost can't even conjure it, imagine it. It must be very difficult to live in a country where one media organization, out of whole cloth, knowingly, explicitly, maybe even in meetings behind the scenes might say, we're lying to our audience, holy shit, and then call for news people to be fired for telling the truth. I mean, if something like that happened in the United States, it would be a dark day indeed. So I appreciate you raising the alarm bells for us.